Uh, all right. So it should be working. Okay. All right. Okay. So we will just fix the size of the sharing and should be all right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Everything's working well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our demo lesson here. Oh, no, not like this. Okay, so welcome everyone, and this is our demo lesson now. Bienvenue en classe. This is the first lesson of our program. So I'm gonna first introduce myself. My name is Zakaria, and okay, so a few things about me. So I am an Algerian. I'm from Algeria, and I've I'm actually a French native speaker. Okay, and I've been uh, teaching French for the past 7 years now. Quite long, quite long journey. Yeah. Okay, and I have a master degree in French language, specialized in culture and language. Yeah, and I've decided to launch my own online school. So here we go. All right, and this is my program I prepared for my school named Cloud French. So why Cloud French? Because everything gonna be online, and you will receive a ton of resources and other documents and listening, reading activities. So let's talk a little bit about our program. So our program is divided in 6 months. So and each 2 month we actually move to another level. So first and second month are based on an A1 French program. So I inspired myself from books, notebooks, school books of French language and how to like learn French language from A1 level to B2 level. So the first 2 months is really focused on the A1 level, the basis, right? And then what comes after that is just going up in the level until we reach B2 level at the end of the 6 months. And during the last month, we start practicing TCF, TEF, DELF, and DALF, depending if you want to prepare for TCF or TEF or DALF or DELF, depending if you want to immigrate to France, Canada, or whenever actually. So depend your goals. The 6 month we start practicing for the exam you want to reach. And if you're here just for the love of the language, no problem. You can also work with us for the exams, and then if you succeed in our tests, congratulations, you've made it. Okay, so let's start with this first demo lesson. Okay, let's see how it works. So this is the first lesson, class 1. Okay. So today's program will be letter combinations part 1, les jours de la semaine, les mois de l'année, les saisons, demander comment ça va, 0, 31, s'appeler, être, avoir. Alright. Letter combination, les combinaisons de lettres. So first, what are letter combinations? So in French, a letter combination is when two or more letters works together, okay, to create one sound. Okay, they create one sound. Okay, sometimes French letters do not sound the same when they are alone and when they are together. Okay, so for example, A plus N. Okay, so we have two letters, letter A and letter N. Some of my students used to read this an, okay, an. But it's actually not the way you should pronounce it in French. So in French, combinations of letters give us a unique sound, a one sound. They create something different. So the A plus N is actually pronounced in French on, on. For example, in the word grand, grand, right? So we do not pronounce the letters separately. So we do not say grande, right? We don't say grande. No, that's wrong. We have to say grand, grand. So it sounds like grand. So AN creates a special French sound. Why do we learn letters combinations? So we learn letter combinations because they help us read French words correctly. So when you see a word like enfant, you know that on makes a special sound. So they help us pronounce French more naturally. So French pronunciation is not always like English. Letters combinations helps you sound more natural. Understand spoken French better. When French people speak, you hear sounds, not separate letters. If you know the combinations, listening becomes easier. Avoid common mistakes. For example, English speakers may try to pronounce every letter separately, but in French, some letters combine to make one sound and some completely silent. So, pronunciation note. Final consonant in French. Alright, let's explain this. So in French, the final consonant of a word is often silent. This means that we usually do not pronounce the last consonant at the end of many French words. For example, grand. So we do not pronounce the final D. Sang. We do not pronounce the final G. Enfant. We do not pronounce the final T. Temps. We do not pronounce the final P or S. However, there are some exceptions. Some final consonant can be pronounced, especially the letters C, R, F, and L. Okay? Right. So example, avec, with, hiver, winter. Hiver. Okay. 9. 9. 9. Okay. Mal, badly, wrong. Mal. So with these, we have the exceptions of pronouncing the C, the R, the F, the L. So this is a general rule, but there are some exceptions. Okay? All right, we continue. So, A-N, A-M, E-N, E-M. So how they pronounce, they all sound on. So A-N sounds on, so we say grand, grand, big. Same here, sans, sans means without. En, chambre, chambre. So like room, chambre. En, em is also pronounced en, so we say enfant, enfant. Okay, child. En, so T-E-M-P-S is temps, temps. And we don't pronounce the P-S, we don't pronounce the T, we don't pronounce the S, we don't pronounce the D. Okay, sounds good. Now O-M and O-N. On, on. So for example, B-O-N, bon, bon. So I don't actually say bon. No, I'm not pronouncing the N, right? I would say bon, means good. On, like chanson, chanson, means song. So OM is also pronounced on, so we say non, non. Okay, so we say non, and then maison, maison. Okay, all right. Très bien. So usually during the session, the lesson, so if students have any question, they will be like allowed to ask questions, right? So you can ask any question during the class, like to repeat, etc. And also we would ask the students to raise their hands, like, okay, who wants to do some reading? Raise your hands. And during the Zoom meeting, you can all raise your hands for participating, for doing the reading. Okay? Okay. So now EI, EI in French. Okay, we see how it goes. Reine, reine. So EI is pronounced E, so we say reine, queen. Pen, pen. Okay, pen. So means pain, sorrow. Pen. Neige, neige. Okay, neige. Okay. 13, 13. Okay, 13. So 13. One more time. Reine, pen, neige, 13. So again, usually I would ask, like, is there any student who wants to do some reading, and waiting for students to raise their hands, and then I'm going to call your names one by one so you can all practice and read during the lesson. Right. Then we move on to vocabulary practice here. So we would say, like today, for example, les jours de la semaine et les mois de l'année. Days of the week, month of the year. Les jours de la semaine. So we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, etc. So in French, we would read them. Dimanche, dimanche. Lundi, lundi. Mardi, mardi. Mercredi, mercredi. Okay. mercredi, jeudi, jeudi. Okay? And then vendredi, vendredi. Okay? Samedi, samedi. Okay? Okay. And then les mois de l'année. Mois de l'année. Small tip here. OI is pronounced wa. So we pronounce the M and then we read it moi, moi. The S remains silent because of the rule, right? Right. Janvier, janvier. Okay. Février, février. Janvier, février. Mars, avril, avril. Mai, juin, juillet, août, septembre, octobre, novembre, décembre. Okay. So then again, I would ask like if there are any students who want to do some reading, and yeah, one by one, like we call you and you do the reading and we correct your mistakes, obviously. More vocabulary here are the seasons, the 4 seasons in French, les 4 saisons. Les 4 saisons. Okay, so we have it's like spring, summer, autumn, winter. Okay. Le printemps. Le printemps. L'été, summer. L'été. Le printemps, l'été. L'automne. L'automne. L'hiver. L'hiver. Okay. So, le printemps, l'été, l'automne, l'hiver. All right. Then we have salutation. Salutation. So, greetings in French. Salutation. Okay. Bonjour. Bonjour. Good morning. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Good evening. Salut. Salut. Coucou. Coucou. So coucou is a cute way to say hi, hello. Bonne journée. Have a good day. Bonne journée. Okay. Au revoir. Goodbye. Au revoir. Okay. And then we have à bientôt. À bientôt. Okay, like see you soon, see you later. À plus tard. À plus tard. Okay, see you later. Bonne nuit. Bonne nuit. It's like good night. Bonne nuit. Okay. Bonne soirée. Have a good evening. Bonne soirée. Right. Then in French, we move here to the asking about someone. So asking how someone is doing. So for example, formal, we say comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? Like how are you? Vous allez bien? Vous allez bien? Are you doing well? Are you alright? Comment allez-vous? Vous allez bien? Okay. And then informal. Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Ça va? Ça va? Okay. All right. And then the difference. Formal is used with vous, right? So we use vous to talk with someone we would like to maintain a certain formality with. Okay, so it's like someone we want to um, like show respect. So it can be an elder, a stranger, um, your boss, your colleagues, etc. Okay, all right. And then informal is used with friends, family member, okay, and like someone you have like a closer relationship with. And then answering the question. So how to answer all of these questions? Je vais bien, merci. Et vous? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Je vais bien, merci. Et vous? Bien, et vous? Fine, and you? So this is again the formal part. So we use vous again for the formal answering. And then with informal, je vais bien, merci. Et toi? Je vais bien, merci. Et toi? Bien. Et toi? Ça va. Et toi? So remember we said that OI in French is pronounced wa. So we pronounce the T with the wa here. Toi. Toi means you. Informal. Okay, then we have the numbers in French. We're gonna learn today numbers from 0 to 31. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I want to stop a moment here to give you a piece of advice, everyone. Don't try to read the number. So for example, don't say, oh, okay, it's un. No, because we said in the beginning of the lesson, certain combinations, certain letter combined give us a unique sound, a specific sound. So we cannot read the letters, we cannot pronounce the letters separately. So we don't say oh, zero and then un, deux. No, we have to say zéro, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. So during this demo lesson, if you want to review it or practice it, try to focus on the sound, not to focus on what is written. Okay, so I want you to focus on the sound, the pronunciation I'm doing, not what is written. All right, let's continue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and that's it so for now. Okay? All right. So we counted from 0 to 31. Again, you can focus all on the way it's pronounced, not focusing on what is written, because we don't want to fall in the trap of actually pronouncing each letter separately. Okay. We move on here with the main three verbs of today's lesson. So we're gonna learn 3 very important verbs. The first one is s'appeler, to be called. S'appeler. So s'appeler is what we call in French a reflexive verb. Okay, we will learn more in details about this in future lessons. All right, but first we start with just the practicing of the conjugation and only these verbs. So in French, to say I'm cold, I call myself. We say je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. Tu t'appelles. Tu t'appelles. Il s'appelle. Il s'appelle. Nous nous appelons. Nous nous appelons. Vous vous appelez. Vous vous appelez. OK? Il s'appelle. Elle s'appelle. Il s'appelle. Elle s'appelle. Alright. So that's good. Then we have another verb called avoir. Avoir means to have. Okay. So j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. One more time. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Okay. So something quick is that with nous and vous and il and elle, we do what we call in French liaison, a connection. We'll learn this in future classes, but for today, just focus on how to memorize the way we are pronouncing the conjugations. Okay? All right. Okay, let's continue. Être, to be. Okay. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Okay. So, one more time. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Okay. We have then this vocabulary here. S'appeler, to be called. Je m'appelle, my name is. For example, I can say, je m'appelle Zeki, means my name is Zeki. Right? Je m'appelle Zeki, my name is Zeki, and congratulations, you already know how to introduce yourself. Easy, right? Alright. Comment t'appelles-tu? Comment t'appelles-tu? Okay. So like, comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? So like, what is your name? So both sentences means, what is your name? Then I can say, his name is Jean. Il s'appelle Jean. Il s'appelle Jean. Then, nous nous appelons les Dupont. Our name is Dupont. So me and my wife, for example, I introduce me and my wife and I say, okay, we are, our name is like the family name is Dupont. So I can say, Nous nous appelons les Dupont. Okay? All right. And then we continue. Elle s'appelle Sarah et Léa. Elle s'appelle Sarah et Léa. So their names are Sarah and Leah because we're using L with the S. L with the S is they. Okay, we're doing good. Usually I would ask my students if they have any questions. They can raise their hands anytime. So if you are in the class and you participate, usually if you have any question, you can use the emoji in Zoom classes. Like you have an emoji raising your hand. So you can raise your hand and the teacher will call your name and then you can ask your question. Then we will call you one by one to actually do the pronunciations. Okay? Let's continue with être. Je suis. So I am. Je suis. Okay? Literally. Étudiant. Student. Étudiant. I don't pronounce the last T, right? Nous sommes prêts. We are ready. Nous sommes prêts. Ils sont en retard. They are late. Ils sont en retard. So I need to connect the T with the on here because of connections and liaison. Again, we learn this in next class. Then you can say je suis, like I am, and follow with the profession. Okay? For example, elle est assistante. So she is an assistant. Elle est assistante. And then I can ask also about nationality. Tu es français? Like you're French? Tu es français? Oui, je suis français. Like, yeah, I'm French. Which is not my case though. But you got it, I'm sure. Okay. And then, j'ai un chat. J'ai un chat. I have a cat. So I have a cat. Quel âge tu as? What? Oh, sorry. This is not the good one. What is your age? That's interesting. Let's explain this one actually. Quel âge tu as? So actually in French, we don't say what is your age. We actually say like how many years old you are, how many years old you have, okay? That's how you do it in French. So they use the verb to have, so the verb avoir, okay? And then you can say j'ai 20 ans. J'ai 20 ans. So I'm 20 years old, all right? So far so good. And usually again, I would ask my students who wants to do some reading, raise your hands, they would raise their hands and then, we do some reading. Okay, let's continue. For this part, what I usually do is this. I'll call my students by pairs of two. For example, I would call Paul and Luca, right? So imagine I have two students. Actually, let's imagine I have two students. Their names are Louise and Thomas. So I'll ask, for example, Louise to read these parts, the parts on the right, and I ask Thomas to read the parts on the left. So the student's going to participate directly in a dialogue. So each student read their parts. And then when they finish, we move to another student's readings. So, bonjour, je m'appelle Louise. Et toi? Hello, my name is Louise. And you? Bonjour, moi je m'appelle Thomas. Like, hello, my name is Thomas. Enchanté, nice to meet you. So in French, enchanté means nice to meet you. Enchanté. Okay. Comment vas-tu? How are you? Comment vas-tu? Okay. And then, oui, je vais bien, merci. Et toi? Like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Oui, je vais bien, merci. Et toi? Okay. So, we would continue here and students will do the reading actually at this part. Je vais bien, merci. I'm doing, oh, sorry, yeah. I'm doing fine, thanks. Okay. Enchanté. Tu es français, Thomas? It's like, nice to meet you. Are you French, Thomas? Oui, je suis français. Et toi? She's like, yeah, I'm French, and you? Then she continued with, je suis anglaise. Je suis anglaise. So I'm English. Je viens de Londres. Je viens de Londres. I'm from London. Et tu as quel âge? J'ai 22 ans. Et toi? Like, and how old are you? I'm 22 years old, and you? And then, j'ai 19 ans. I'm 18 years old. And then it concludes basically things we learned. Greetings, calling your name, asking and you, and then asking how someone is doing. Doing well, thanks. What about you? Doing well, nice to meet you. Are you French? Yes, I'm French. The numbers 22, 19 years old, etc. So it's a good recap of what we learned. Then we move to les articles définis. So this is a grammar lesson. They're going to be explained for the first lesson, and it's about the definite articles. First, we explain the rule. In French, definite articles are used to refer to specified nouns, similar to the English the. There are three definite articles in French: le, la, and les. These are the three definite articles. Le is used for masculine singular nouns. La is used with feminine singular nouns, and les is used with plural nouns. And then we read all together, me and the students, these new words. Le livre, the book, meaning le livre, book is masculine. Okay, we continue. Les livres, the books. Okay, so plural we use les. La montre, right? So the watch. Okay, now that's an interesting transformation here. L'ami, same, l'ami. All right, so and here we explain the rule, like whenever a noun starts with a vowel, okay, whenever a noun starts with a vowel, we actually change le, la, with the L apostrophe to make the pronunciation smoother. So we don't say le ami or la ami, we would just say l'ami, l'ami. All right. Plural, though, does not change. If a noun, whether it starts with a vowel or not, is in plural, we use les. So, for example, here I would read it, les amis, les amis. Okay? Les amis. All right. And then, le bureau, le bureau. Okay. Les bureaux, les bureaux. Okay? Le bureau, les bureaux. La femme, la femme. Okay, the woman. So, livre means book. Les livres, the books. La montre, the watch. L'ami, the friend. L'ami, the friend. If l'ami finish with E, we are specifying a female friend. If it finish with I, it just means a male friend. Les amis, friends. Le bureau, the desk. Les bureaux, desks. La femme, the woman. And this is les articles indéfinis, indefinite articles. So in French, indefinite articles are used to refer to unspecified nouns, similar to the English a or un. Okay? There are three indefinite articles in French: un, une, and des. So we have un, Une, des. Okay. So, un for masculine singular nouns. Une for feminine singular nouns. Des for plural nouns, whether it's masculine or feminine. Okay. And then we continue here with some vocabulary. Une amie, a friend, female. Un ami, a friend, male. Un bureau, a desk. Des bureaux, desks. Une femme, a woman. Un livre, a book. Des livres, books. Une montre, a watch. Une pomme, an apple. Un chien, a dog. Une chienne, a dog. Un animal. Oh, by the way, sorry about that. It's a dog female. Une chienne. Une chienne. Un animal. Des animaux. Plural of animals. Un animal. An animal. Des animaux. Like animals. Des chiens. Dogs. Un café. A coffee. Des enfants. Kids. Une voiture. Une voiture. So, car. Alright, so far so good. Now, and then to conclude the lesson, we would do all the listening exercise with the students, right? So we would play a video, okay? And then we can read the transcript together and then activate the video here, listening.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Paul. Et toi, comment tu t'appelles?
See? And then we play the record, and then here we will all answer the questions of the listening activity. After the listening activity, I usually ask my students, is there any last question before concluding the lesson? So if you have any question remaining, you can ask me anything during the class, like even during the class, but always at the end, I always like, add extra 5-10 minutes for answering some of the students' questions. And yeah, that's it. That's the conclusion of the first lesson. This lesson will be also posted on YouTube. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon in Cloud French. If you have any question, if you want to contact us, you can contact us in comments, WhatsApp, WeChat, Instagram, and email as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, and see you soon. À bientôt.